You know, running a cult is relaxing, fun, and above all, a great way to spend your weekend. But if you don't want to get caught up in sacrificing in the name of a deity, drinking the Kool-Aid, or the pesky law, I suppose Massive Monster's Cult of the Lamb will suffice. It's full of coziness, management, sin, and an addictive gameplay loop of fighting monsters while also shoveling the feces of your followers so they don't get sick. Welcome to Backlog Buster, where we finally get around to those games that sit in the depths of our backlog, thought to never see the light of day. Released in 2022, this roguelike adventure follows the Lamb, or affectionately named Lambert by the community, as they cheat death after being on the chopping block over a prophecy that would lead to a lamb being the downfall of a pantheon of all-powerful bishops. Given no other choice, you strike a deal with the One Who Waits, a trapped ex-bishop who resurrects you every time you die. In return, you agree to establish a cult in his name and begin your quest to eliminate all that wronged you and free the only one that seems to be on your side. Aww. This game has been on my to-do list for years, but it's always fallen to the wayside. However, after taking a dive into the rabbit hole of Cult of the Lamb related content and cozy gaming, I finally decided to bite the bullet and step into the hooves of Lambert, and I'm glad I did. You see, this game is more than just religious furry bait disguised as an indie procedurally generated dungeon crawler. It's a compelling roguelike with a charming art style and an adorably sadistic protagonist. Name another game where you can preach the word of your savior while at the same time prepping for a ritual requiring the bones of your enemies.
I'm waiting!
To keep your followers happy, you must tend to their needs. This means going out on expeditions to forage for food, ensuring there's enough shelter, host regular sermons to keep their faith riding high, and yes, cleaning up after nature calls. Slowly but surely, your flock will grow, and just like that, you've got a cult to rule all cults. You can also do tasks for your followers, like preparing specific food, rescuing lost followers, recruiting new ones, building accommodations, and playing pranks on the behalf of other cult members. This will increase their faith and will lead to them producing more devotion during sermons, which can be used to upgrade the weapons used during each run through the dungeon crawler aspect of the game. Speaking of, a big part of why I never got into Cult of the Lamb was because it's a dungeon crawler. I'm not a huge fan of those types of games, but none of the expeditions felt like they overstayed their welcome. Most were maybe 5 to 10 minutes. They're short, sweet, and tons of fun with just a hint of RNG that keeps each run interesting. You are given a random weapon with a random ability that can do things like poison enemies, have a chance to heal you, lead to ghosts fighting by your side, that sort of stuff. You're also given a curse. This is an ability that can act as a limited use secondary weapon of sorts. Things like tentacles coming out of the ground, spitting damaging black ooze onto your enemy's feet, or a close range attack that will stagger opponents backwards. At no point did the runs feel truly unfair, and at no point did I actually feel like I needed to consult a guide to progress. Even if I wanted to take a break to decorate my cult or make sure my followers haven't defecated by my statue, it feels like a completely different game, connected by a loose thread on the surface, but as strong as Shimura's web when you go digging deeper. You see, while you can get wood or stone or food from your home base, it's not nearly as much or consistent as going out on expeditions. Also, you find followers during your journey through duking it out with rival cult members, purchased from a rather large ball of steel wool masquerading as a spider, or found alone, afraid, and most importantly, impressionable. Additionally, you need bones to conduct rituals, which will be a big thing to keep your flock happy. Bones can only be found while crusading, meaning you have to go out to get the most out of your flock. There are also structures that help manage your flock while you're away, such as outhouses, that make it so that your followers won't just let it out right on the floor when nature calls, leading to followers getting disgusted at seeing a small, or sometimes really large, pile of follower feces while they wander the area. Meanwhile, you can't progress in the game if you don't have enough cult members to support you, so it's best to keep them fed and fine enough not to get mad and start spreading heresy like you don't care about them or you feed them their own poop, even though you totally can, which will impact your followers' faith in the cult. That is to say, you can't just go off crusading, telling them you need to pick up milk and only return to the cult when they've learned not to take dumps by the kitchen. You have to pick up after them, or they will descend or die, and you'll no longer be able to upgrade your abilities nearly as fast because you're earning less devotion for each sermon. It's basically a balancing act. You have to go crusading to appease your deity and make good on your promise, but you also have to play housekeeper for your flock so you can keep crusading and keep growing. Overall, Cult of the Lamb's gameplay is addicting. Its story is compelling, and its style is just top-notch. I regret shoving it in the depths of my unorganized backlog and ignoring it for literal years, but I am proud to say it's broken free of the shackles and refuses to give up the red crown in my Steam library.